What's up, fellow realtors and tech junkies? I thought that I would do something a little off the wall, spontaneous today. I got an Amazon delivery and I figured, what the heck? Why don't you guys come along and let's see what we got in the delivery, huh? As you can see here, I might have a little bit of a technology gadget buying problem. But that is what helps facilitate this channel. So let me go ahead and jump in here. I think I'll probably start with the bags first. If you are new to the channel, this channel is dedicated to technology and gadgetry for real estate. So if that's your kind of thing, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. All right, let's jump in and have some fun. Okay, so in our prime bag here, let's see what we got in this one. Not really set up, so this is my actual office. I do not have a studio set up. For those that know, my actual my YouTube studio, video studio was destroyed in Hurricane Ian. And I actually have that video coming up very soon. And it will also kick off a series of videos called Did It Survive? The technology and gadgets that I forgot to get out of the studio. We're going to find out if they survived or not. So what do I got here in this first one? Well, this one's kind of boring, but nonetheless, very practical. So I recently started a podcast, actually just last week, with a fellow market center tech trainer, Peter Hopkins, here in the town that we operate out of. And he's actually a remote trainer for 5 offices on the other coast of Florida, but he lives here in my hometown. And anyway, we've got our podcast set up here with a Podmic for him over here, and just the cables aren't really, I got kind of short cables here. The XLR is going into the RODECaster Pro 2, and I'm actually on the Rode Procaster, and I just thought I would like to reroute the XLR cable coming off the Podmic. So these are actually little sticky cable management clips so that I can run his cable through the Elgato low profile microphone arm. I love these things. I have 3 of them and they are amazing. So I'm going to run that through here and then under the desk so that the cable can come out the other side and into the back of the RCP2. And that's what these guys are for. So important, but boring. I get it. All right, let's see if we got anything else that's fun here. What do we got in this one? So these are some really long, like Q-tip kind of things. And this is for another hobby passion of mine that I'm not going to discuss on this channel. But there you go. All right. And then again, boring, but much needed, very necessary Velcro cable ties. Okay. So far, kind of 0 for 3. None of this stuff is interesting to you. I realize that. Not really all that interesting to me either, but very much needed. Okay, I think I know what this one is, and I'm very excited for this one. If it is what I think it is, we're about to find out. Let's see what we got here. And yes, this is the exciting stuff. So my main camera, actually what I'm recording this on right now, is the Insta360 Link, the 4K PTZ AI powered webcam from Insta360, and I love it. I've always been a big fan of OBSBot cameras, and that's actually what I put in my training room conversions. However, I think this might be my new go-to camera. This Insta360 Link seems to blow the OBSBot Tiny away. But I'm going to have a video coming out pretty soon comparing the OBSBot Tiny 4K, and this Insta360 Link 4K. So stay tuned for that. But when Peter and I do our podcast, I actually use the Insta360 Link on me as the main camera. And then I have a Sony A6400 that I absolutely love. It's I've had it for probably a couple of years now, maybe not quite 2 years. But I wanted a good secondary camera for a different shot here in the studio when we're doing the podcast. I say studio, in my real estate office, as it were, because my studio was destroyed. But I wanted a second camera so I could get a second shot, just different perspective, try to make the broadcast a little more interesting. And I wanted to stick with Sony, but I don't feel like the Sony A3, A4, all of that is in the budget. So I decided to go with the Sony ZV-E10. There it is right there. Right there. Sony ZV-E10. And been doing a lot of research on this, checking out all of my normal faithfuls on YouTube, Think Media, and a few other resources out there, channels that I follow. And this just seemed to be bang for buck, the best value for what I'm looking for. Great vlogging camera, and also a great Sony camera that I can have as a second shot for when we're doing video podcasts. And I already have the kit lens that came with my A6400. Believe it's going to be the same kit lens in this as well. But I also have the Sigma 16 millimeter. So I'll be able to switch up the lenses, which would be great. So let's just kind of get into this and see what we got. I think I'm going to save the unboxing of this for a future video. So I'll set this aside and we'll see what else we got in here. Okay, big box. Let's see what we got in this one. Okay. So this is something that's actually for that other passion of mine that I'm not going to mention on this channel. So we'll set that aside. And this is too. Got my shipments kind of commingled here, but that's all right. All right. So I have a Ulanzi R094. This is actually like a super clamp mount that's going to allow me to put that Sony ZV-E10 on another bracket. Actually ordered a Ulanzi key light. The one I'm using right now is the Elgato key light, which I absolutely love, but I wanted something a little bit more budget friendly because it's just a second key light to in frame, and that has a desk mounted pole. And so I thought this would be a great option to actually put the Sony ZV-E10 on that pole and be able to frame up the shot of Peter from that apparatus, as it were. And then here, so I mentioned the cables that I have, my XLR cables that I have here are rather short. They were set up to originally be a side-by-side or across the table from each other type of setup. So they were very short going into my original RODECaster Pro. And in this particular configuration in my office and not in the studio, I needed longer XLR cables. So I do love the color theme, though. I love these colored cables because I can pretty much match them to the channel colors on the RODECaster Pro and RODECaster Pro 2. So I went with the same thing, just in a longer cable. These are 10-foot cables, I believe. That's going to allow me to route it through the Elgato low profile mic arm and under the desk, around the back, and into the RCP2. So nothing super fascinating with that. Just, again, very practical, and be able to get these mics set up in a more comfortable way that that we would like for our next show, which is coming up this Thursday. Actually, it's every Thursday from 10 to 11, and it is called MCTT's Unleashed. I'm going to link to all the product that you see here and to that video podcast and that channel down in the description below. Wow, I guess that's it. All right, well, not that entertaining, I suppose. But I thought it'd be cool to bring you along for the ride as I unbox those Amazon packages. So I think if I had a better setup here, I'm going to try something with the Insta360 because it does have this amazing software that comes with it. And it allows a top-down view, which is great for unboxings and things like that, if I can get it to work. So let's see here. If I switch this, and hey, it is going to work. Look at that. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to pop this bad boy open. This is the Sony ZV-E10. And what do we have in here? We have our reference guide, and we have lenses and accessories, and we have interchangeable lens, digital camera. That is the E-mount, the startup guide, and a whole bunch of stuff I'm not going to read anyway. Okay. Then we have a register your product for a chance to win a $1,000 prepaid Visa. Look at that. All right. This desktop mode in the Insta360 Link software is actually pretty cool. I don't have to flip the pages around. I just leave them the way that I would normally read them, and it's checking all that out. Look at that. Love it. Definitely a bonus over the OBSBot Tiny. It does not have a feature like that, and that is fantastic. I'm digging it. Okay, so what else do we have in here? We have, that fell out of the bag, we have probably a 5-volt charger, I mean, and it is. That's our 5-volt charger right there. So we got that. And we have a neck strap, which I'm probably not going to use because it's either going to be handheld on a Manfrotto type handheld tripod, or it's going to be set up in the studio. So then we have our dead cat, which goes on there. And this is kind of a neat, it's not magnetic or anything. It actually just slides right in the cold shoe. So, or the hot shoe on the camera, but it's cold shoe because this doesn't do anything except just slide right in there. So that's what that's going to be for. And then we have our battery, which are the 50s, the NP FW50s. So that's in there. And then we have a USB-C to USB-A cable. One of the cool things about this camera is that it has a natively built-in webcam mode. So I'm kind of excited about that too. That's pretty cool. All right. So here it is. Beautiful little camera there. We've got our dedicated record button right here. that is the shutter button. It does have telephoto and wide zoom trigger right there. And this is the same kit lens that I have with my Sony A6400. It is the 3.5 to 5.6, 16 to 50 lens. And we have our regular quarter 20 thread here. What is cool about this camera versus the A6400 is that this one actually has a flip out screen, fully articulating, flip out, right? So we can flip this how we need to. Got it so that we can see it if we're in front of the camera, or you can fold it up back here. But if you don't want this the screen getting scratched, then we can actually fold it around and close it up. And then you've just got the flat plastic back, which is how I am typically going to keep this camera. All right, so we got all that. And then to show you how this dead cat works, it's pretty cool. So the dead cat, here's our hot shoe mount right here, and then our microphone. And as far as built-in mics go on mirrorless cameras, this one, from everything I've heard on other YouTube tech guys doing their reviews and audio demonstrations, it's pretty decent. There's really no onboard microphone on a camera that's going to sound great. But it's pretty decent. Always going to be a better option to have an external microphone, though. I actually have the Rode Video Mic 2 coming. So we'll be testing that out pretty soon, and that's probably what we're going to have on here most of the time. All right, so that just slides right on there, and now you've got your dead cat wind muff over the microphone so you can cut out any of that wind noise. All right. So back up here with me. That is it for the unboxing of my Amazon goodies for today. If you like the video, I know it wasn't super entertaining with some of the boring stuff like cable clips and cables and things like that. But I do have a lot of cool gear in here as well. I'll also link to a lot of the gear I have here in the office. All that'll be in the description down below. So please consider subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. And as always, have fun and explore the technology. Peace.